Right, the whole Mario Kart augmented reality thing. I, I was mentioning this before, but I watched Up Up Down Down, Austin Creed. He did a showcase of the Mario Kart AR in his house, and it worked surprisingly well. My biggest worry for it is how much it burns through batteries. Because I can imagine that thing just eating the life out of them. You put like 4 AA's in there and it lasts 1 hour. Because not only does it have to power the little car that it drives around, also it has to power the camera. And they ported Dragon Quest over to Xbox One. Well, Dragon Quest is Square though, isn't it? It's not Nintendo? Or am I mistaken on that? And they said it's only the beginning of the friendship. Well, let's start seeing Banjo-Kazooie on the Switch. Because as we've mentioned earlier in chat, there's a couple people here who haven't played the game. Y'all need to experience it. Bring it over to Steam, bring it over to Nintendo Switch. Do something with the property, Xbox. You own Banjo, use it. Oh my god, the jiggle physics there. And I'm off! Team Rocket blasting off again. See, that's why I said earlier that that hammer is a trap. Yes, sometimes it'll clear you right into the goal, and if I was lucky, it would've, and I would've still qualified. But instead, I became a star off in the horizon. That just accelerated me off into space. I think I saw Elon Musk's car. No, Dragon Quest has been on the PlayStation. Dragon Quest 11. Dragon Quest 11, Dragon Quest Builders. Dragon Quest 8 was a PS2 game. Dragon Quest Warriors games. They're also on PlayStation. So yeah, Dragon Quest has been on PlayStation quite a bit. Never played Conquer either. Neither have I. I've only seen a stream of it. I want to say Over the Gun did a playthrough of it that I watched. But I've never played Conquer. Which, speaking of YouTubers returning, apparently Over the Gun is back. I saw a couple uploads on my YouTube subscription feed saying that he uploaded something recently, so I'm gonna have to check those out. Because he is one of those YouTubers that I idolize. Yeah, same for you, you've only watched playthroughs? Yeah. I mean, that's the crazy thing. There's some games that are in my backlog that I've seen other people play through, people I like to watch, that I've purposely avoided because I want to experience it before I watch it. I want to go in blind. But things like roguelikes, I have no problem seeing other people play first. At the very least, I'll watch maybe an hour or so of their gameplay to get an idea of what the introduction is. Like, okay, this game's been sitting in my backlog for how many years now? Well, they decided to finally do a playthrough, so at least let me see if it's worth staying in my backlog or if I should lower it down to just a game I own. Hey, thank you DT for that sub. Very much appreciate it. I really need to get the sub sandwiches emotes. That way I can just spam that anytime someone subs. Thank you very much. If I had face cam on right now, I would tip my hat to you. Actually, I do have that, so hold on. instead of tipping off my actual hat, there you go. Hats off. What are those emotes? 2020 selfie and 2020 sus. Huh? Apparently Xbox Live is coming to Switch as well somehow. Okay. I can see that maybe working for games like Minecraft, which require you to have a Microsoft account. But that's about as far as I can extend having Xbox Live on Switch? You usually forget about your Prime sub. I'm the same way. Like, for the longest time, I never even gave it out because I was like, oh, I have one free subscription a month. No idea who I'm going to give it to, so for years it just sat there doing nothing. I appreciate it, man. For crossplay and achievement capabilities. Huh. Well, now I'm curious what games it's going to work with. When people sub, everyone gets a random 2020 as hindsight. Oh. I'm surprised that meme hasn't been used more often this year. I mean, there's definitely one instance where it should be used a lot that I won't bring up, but yeah. Hindsight is definitely 2020 is a meme that has not gotten enough traction this year. Although you can be sure it'll be used in the next few weeks when people do their end of the decade review. Best games of 2010 to 2020. Here's our video game Hindsight is 2020 review. But yeah, that's one thing Nintendo has been lacking, achievements. So hopefully if they do this Xbox Live crossover, Nintendo games will finally have achievements. Same. The exact same. Only have it because of Amazon Prime. Which, big benefit of Amazon Prime, free games every month. Which just add to that backlog. I think this month they gave out Yooka-Laylee Impossible Lair. Which is definitely a game I need to play. Right, and The Boys. I need to watch this season. I watched season 1, absolutely loved it, but have not found the time to watch season 2 yet. Exactly. Like, I will say Assassin's Creed Origin is the perfect example of that. If it wasn't for the achievements in Assassin's Creed Origins, I would not be going for a platinum. I would not be spending 20 hours doing side quests and unlocking things. I would have just done occasional side quests, leveled up a bit, done main story. But because of the trophy system, I want the platinum. I am now spending an extra 20 hours exploring every nook and cranny, unlocking all these very specific things. People who have this completionist mindset feel the need to go after certain trophies. And it's a cheap way of just adding to the experience. And Pa, you mentioned earlier, with Dead Rising 1, a 15-hour achievement. Now you've suddenly added 15 hours of gameplay. Because people want that one trophy, or that one achievement. It is crazy how the mind works. So apparently, Cuphead already had that capability. Interesting. I remember Cuphead not running well on one of the platforms. I can't remember which one. Was that Switch? Yeah, that's right. Amazon Prime did give out a free year of Nintendo Online, didn't they? Only I had a Switch, I could have redeemed that. But no, they give out a lot of good games. Are we really gonna have all the balls? I mean, we're missing 2. But wow, we got a good team going on right here. 5 balls. Alright, we're down to 4. Oh no! We might not come in first. They're not even contesting this. Look how many of us are in our base. Just standing by. Apparently the other teams just gave up. Look, their defense is on point. We're not going to go after red. You heard it, that Ukulele 2 Impossible Lair is better than the first. I've kind of heard the same. That apparently the first one had some bugs. I know that the very first boss, the giant wall guy, had some issues. I don't know if they ended up patching that out later, but I do know that the very first boss had issues. But the 2D platform of the sequel is very reminiscent to the old Donkey Kong games, which I'm very excited about. And, like I was mentioning earlier, Grant Kirkhope. So always love to hear some of his music. Oh, they're giving me so many rings right out the gate. I don't even need to contest them. Oh, maybe a couple. I should have gone up. I made the mistake of not going up. Fine, y'all go that way. Hey, y'all fight over the golden ring. Oh, no. Terrible timing. Yeah, that one is not possible. I've tried making that jump before. Can't be done. It's a waste of time. That is the second bloody ring that is spawned right as soon as I leave the platform. Oh, I might not qualify. Everyone is taking my rings. Okay, at least 3. I need something else desperately now. Don't do it. Don't you dare do it, elf! Crap. Come on, game. Give me something good. Can't reach that. There we go. Golden ring. Okay, now, I've mentioned this before. 5 points is too many. I don't care if I just qualified because of that golden ring. 5 points is too many. Alright. You also second the motion to add achievement to Switch games. Yeah, I think we've become spoiled as gamers to now expect, like, trophies or notifications for getting 100% in games. Now it's no longer a... Like, back in the day, I 100%ed Banjo-Kazooie. That was gratifying enough. Nowadays, if I 100% a game that's a collectathon, it's like... Well, I want to be able to have something on my profile saying and proving that I did it. It's no longer good enough that I know I did it. I want the notification on my profile to share. You... Automaton, no! First you haven't played Banjo, now you haven't played Donkey Kong? Oh, come on. You're killing me now. You're killing me. You gotta play Donkey Kong. You gotta play Donkey Kong. I can understand not playing Banjo-Kazooie because they're on Xbox. But there's multiple Donkey Kong games, even Tropical Freeze, even if you're not playing the original Donkey Kong Country. Tropical Freeze itself is a very good game, it's very solid. Like, going back to 100%ing and not getting a notification, I 100%ed Tropical Freeze. Wait, no, not Tropical Freeze, I 100%ed Donkey Kong Returns. on the Wii. That was a tough game to 100%. But again, yeah, the new Donkey Kong games are amazing. Definitely worth checking out. And I don't know if the Switch does it. Maybe the Switch has done remasters on the Wii Virtual Shop or the Switch Virtual Shop, but if they have, check out Donkey Kong there too. Oh, you played the Game Boy Advance versions? Oh, look, a beta tester. I am a Mexican. You are better than I am, because you played in the beta. I am jealous. I didn't know about this game till it launched on the PS4. Well, I knew about it for a few days before it launched on the PS4, but still. I missed the beta, and I missed that skin. No, why are all of y'all... You missed out on Donkey Kong and Banjo too? Well, you did 100% Sunshine, that's good. You managed to do something I couldn't, because screw the Plinko level. Or, not the Plinko, the Pachinko machine level. I have bad memories of that level. There we go, Agent Pi has played Donkey Kong, so that's one other person. Man, those are classics, man. I don't tend to go back and talk about games that are classics that everyone must play, but Donkey Kong, man. I don't even say, I think I 100% Donkey Kong. Based on my old playstyle back in the day, I want to say I did, but I can't guarantee that I did. You hated the lily pad level? That one, I don't know if I had a terrible time with that one, because that one's not sticking in my head. The ones that tortured me are the ones that are just stuck in the back of my brain. There was one specific platformer level that completely screwed me over that I can't think of off the top of my head, and the Pachinko one. I know exactly where it is because I had to keep respawning after I kept dying and going back into that level. Right above that boat, right above the ferry, underneath the bridge, double jump, bounce off the wall. Over and over again. Yeah, that's the thing though. The Game Boy Advance was amazing in terms of being able to play Super Nintendo games. And it did it rather well. The Game Boy Advance is underrated. Like, I know a lot of people hate on Minish Cap, but I love that game. And oddly enough, now they've done the exact same thing with Mario, where he has a talking hat. And Mario Odyssey. Now all that's left is to give Samus, I almost called her Metroid, oh my god. Now to give Samus a talking helmet. No, don't touch it. There we go. Yeah, again, going back to the number... The Switch has a lot of good games. Odyssey's definitely up there for ones I want to play. The Switch needs a virtual console, so it doesn't have one already. I could have sworn the Switch had one. Huh. Yeah, I could have sworn the Switch had a virtual console, but I guess not. If it doesn't, it needs one. It needs one of the Super Nintendo. It needs to be able to port over Donkey Kong so more people can play it. Oh, for Nintendo and Super Nintendo games it does. Okay. Oh, no, not the Wii one. The Super Nintendo one. The original Donkey Kong Country. 1, 2, and 3. Donkey and Diddy. Diddy and Dixie. And then... Oh, who was the other one? Junior, I think it was, in 3. Was it Junior? Oh, I can't remember the name of the fat monkey in Donkey Kong Country 3. Now that's one I can guarantee I did not 100% because that was a rental from Blockbuster or Movie Gallery, and I remember having a hard time with certain secrets, like specifically having to go around in a semicircle around an island. I don't know, some of those secrets were insane. Never played Metroid. Yeah, Metroids are... I mean, considering there's now an entire genre based on Metroid games, the Metroidvania, I wouldn't say that Metroid is a must-play, but it is an iconic game. So apparently you can play online with the Wii, or with the Switch Virtual Console, which is very nice. Like, my introduction to Metroid, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on stream or on YouTube, but the way my family was that they didn't buy me new games, and they didn't buy me original games. It's not a complaint, it's just the way they were. More often than not, the only times I would get a game is if it was a sequel, or based on an IP that already existed, like Dinosaurs, the movie, the game. Toy Story, the movie, the game. Aladdin, the movie, the game. Or Zelda 2. I never played the original Zelda, but I played Zelda 2, the side-scrolling game that no one talks about. So my introduction to Metroid was Metroid Returns. And this was something we bought, I think, used. It had to have been used. Because I remember when I got it, it was like... Because back then, on Game Boy games, your save file was attached to the cartridge. So back then, here I am playing Metroid Returns, and whoever had it beforehand played it to a certain point. I don't know where they were, but I was completely lost for the longest time on where to go for progress. Apparently they had already killed a certain number of Metroids, and I was off in some... Like, I think if I was to look at a map, I was probably in the very bottom left of the game. And I had no idea where I was or what my abilities were. You had Stuart Little too? On PS1? Yeah. Like, occasionally my parents would buy, like, original games that weren't necessarily in the bargain bin. But for the most part, if I wanted games like those, I had to rent them from Blockbuster or a Movie Gallery. Or, if it was something that was brand new and I really wanted it, like Rampage, I would save up my Christmas and birthday money and buy it myself. But yeah, anything that they got me typically was... I don't want to say a bad game, because that sounds unappreciative. And there were definitely some gems, especially games like Aladdin. Aladdin was a surprise hit for the Sega, I want to say. But definitely some interesting choices. Yeah, they've been teasing Metroid Prime 4 for the longest time. I think that was announced back when the PS... No. I think they announced Metroid Prime back when they announced the Wii U. That's how long that one has been sitting on the shelf. Oh, your family was the same way. I feel like a lot of families were, because they didn't want to spend $60 on a brand new... Oh, that actually leads me into a different story, but I feel like most families were that way because, here's a hobby for their kids. They're talking about, oh, now there's a brand new system that's a couple $100s. Well, they already have a system that exists. It's the Atari. Let's buy them games for the Atari. It's been out for a few years. They can get games cheap. That's good enough. Parents back then, they didn't investigate, they didn't research, they didn't know what exactly the big games were, how much of a budget was put into the games. They saw a game, they saw, okay, our kid likes this one TV show, there's a game based on it, surely it must be a good game. That's how I ended up with E.T. for Atari. That's a completely different tale. But, you know, they would see... he likes dinosaurs. It's a good movie. Let's buy him that for Sega. And it makes sense. For a parent back then, it made sense. Because there wasn't game magazines as readily available. There wasn't an internet. There wasn't the type of research that they could have done. It's just, our kid likes this certain TV shows. He likes Power Rangers. There's a Power Rangers game. Let's get him Power Rangers. Which leads me into a story I was about to tell. When Power Rangers movie came out, the Power Rangers, the movie, the game, was released for Sega. This was a full-price title. Just came out. I was huge into Power Rangers when I was 12. Like most kids. No, I would have had to been 10. Because it was in like in 98. So I was 10 years old. I was big into Power Rangers. Power Rangers, the movie, the game comes out. My parents pay full price for this. This is back in 98. So it was probably like $50, $60. In one afternoon, not even an entire afternoon, me and my sister sat down and we beat that game. Probably took no more than 2 hours, maybe 3 hours at max. From that day onwards, my parents were like, we are never paying full price for a game ever again. We spent $60 on that game, and you just beat it, and now you're done with it, and you don't want to play it no more. And that's the thing, there was no replayability for Power Rangers. None. It was a beat-em-up style game it was incredibly linear, incredibly short, it was low quality, and they had the gall to charge full price for it. And my parents actually paid for it, and I appreciate them for that, but not only did they learn a lesson, I learned a lesson. From that day onward, I didn't pay full price for games. I was strictly a video game renter from Movie Gallery and Blockbuster. I mean, that's one of those hard lessons you learn as a kid. It's like, a big mistake was just made, and a lesson was learned. Just because something is new, just because something is based on a property that you like, does not necessarily mean it's going to be quality. Or have longevity. I think it took me probably 15 years before I started buying games full price again. That's why, back when I started YouTube, back in 2009, my video game collection was slim. Like, I'm talking probably less than 20 games in total. And they were primarily wrestling games, because those had replayability. You spend $60, you're going to put hundreds of hours into that game. You're not paying $60 for a 2-hour experience. And then as years went by, once I started doing YouTube, I started buying games because I realized I didn't have quite the time to rent these titles I wanted. I wanted Psychonauts. Well, I can't rent it for a week and play it. I don't have the time. Let me just buy it. It's cheaper that way. Ratchet and Clank, all these other games, exact same thing. It's just cheaper to buy them outright when they're on sale for like $5, $10, than to rent them and not... Oh, no. Crap. Not have the time to play them. And that's how I've amounted so many games in my backlog nowadays. It's just, oh, here's a game for cheap. It's only a couple bucks. Well, I'm going to buy it now and play it one day. One day never comes. Pokemon, yeah, that's a good example. Like, Pokemon had a lot of replayability. I'm pretty sure my parents bought that because I was big into Pokemon in '99. Watched the TV show a lot, was obsessed with it, was into the trading card game. Back in 2000, I was actually so big into the trading card game, I went to Burger King. They had this trading thing they did every week, which is a completely different story. But they had a night designated for kids to come by and trade cards, which stopped unexpectedly one night when my dad bought a chicken sandwich while I was trading cards. It was my chicken sandwich. I was gonna eat that chicken sandwich, but I spent so long trading cards with everyone, all the other kids there, he ate the chicken sandwich, bit into a cockroach. Last time we ate at that Burger King. Last time we went there. Yeah, I had a binder full too. I have no idea where they're at now, though. What's terrible, though, about that story is that He bit into a cockroach. There was a cockroach in that sandwich. They didn't do nothing. They didn't refund him. They just offered him a new sandwich. We're sorry, there was a cockroach in your chicken sandwich. Here's a new chicken sandwich. And he accepted that. Like, how do you trust Burger King after they do... How do you trust that specific Burger King after they do something like that? I will name and shame it. That is in Martinsville, Virginia. Never eat at the Burger King in Martinsville, Virginia. There's probably only the one, because that was a small-ass town. I will have no problem naming and shaming that one. But yeah, he accepted a replacement chicken sandwich. What if the next one had a roach in it? He doesn't know. He just accepted it. You want a new Star Fox game? Yeah, that's one of the things I never was able to get into, despite the fact that I was big into dogfighting games. They offered a fresh roach, pretty much. They offered him the other half of the roach. God, that's a terrible story, but yeah. Like, I was big into Pokemon back then. Another interesting story based on that is I went to a very Christian school back then. And me and a lot of my friends back then, big into Pokemon. The school, not so much. They were anti-Pokemon. They saw it as evil. And I remember multiple times actually bringing my Game Boy to the school with the digital link, one of those links where you could trade Pokemon in there, and getting in trouble for it. And I remember one specific quote from another student. It wasn't even a teacher, it was another student. When I was trying to defend Pokemon. This is so stupid, but again, this is in, what was it? 6th grade. So I would have been 12. I'm 12 years old. I'm bringing a Pokemon and Game Boy to school. This other kid is so against it. He's bought into the whole agenda that Pokemon is evil. That here I am defending trading the things, and he's accusing me of saying, "Who do you think you are, God?" It's like, it's a kid's game. We're kids. We're trading little Pokemon, digital Pokemon. There's nothing bad about this. Why are you accusing me of trying to be holier than thou? It was an interesting little thing that has just stuck in my mind for so long. Like, what was wrong with that kid that he thought that Pokemon was that evil, that I knew better than others? I don't know, it's weird. It reminds you of a video of someone recording a mouse jumping into a fryer at a restaurant. Isn't that just Ratatouille? Oh wait, no, that's the director's cut of Ratatouille. Who do you think you are, God? Ugh. The secret final boss. Yeah, forget about that French guy in Ratatouille. It's all about the rat in the fryer. Deep fried. Double deep fried. The cheesy filling. Oh man, Disney recently announced that they're bringing back a bunch of old movies, making sequels, doing spin-off things for it. I'm surprised they didn't do anything with Ratatouille. Like, that's one of those movies that's severely underrated. Like, they made a sequel to Incredibles, which I still need to see. I feel like they could probably do some, even if it's just a short, like a little, not a YouTube, a Disney Plus short. They should absolutely do something with Ratatouille. Yeah, they announced a lot of Star Wars stuff, I saw that. And then they announced a bunch of Marvel stuff. I didn't even go through the full list, I like glanced through it. It's like, this isn't even the Disney Expo. That is truth. They absolutely need to stop messing up good movies with live action. Mulan, for example, I refuse to watch out of pure principle. I saw one clip online of her doing like a backflip, holding a pole, bouncing off of a roof, and doing these martial arts things that Mulan herself was clumsy before she became trained. She's not this superhero. They completely changed her character. Yeah, again, just from the one single clip I saw, I just realized that movie is not for me. I am not the target audience for this at all. I don't know who is, but I'm absolutely not. Yeah, that's another big problem. They actually charge $30 for people who already had a subscription to Disney Plus. Like, a ticket at the movie theater isn't $30. You want to argue that, okay, you just go to the matinee, fine. You know, it's $5 to go to an early matinee for a movie. That's typically what I do, because I'm cheap. I have no problem in admitting that. But even for a late night ticket, that's like $15. I could see charging $15 for Mulan, because they couldn't take it to theaters, fine. But $30 is outrageous. Oh, has it finally been lifted? I still don't want to see it. I don't want to ruin my childhood vision of Mulan. Yeah, like HBO Max, they're doing, like, Warner Brothers and HBO Max, they're doing a simultaneous release for all of their movies on HBO Max. That's great. I haven't looked this up, I don't know if they're charging for that, but it's great that they're doing that. Like, it makes sense for them to want to charge. These movies that are big budget titles, they need to recoup their loss. With COVID, they can't necessarily bring the theaters. So, yes, okay, charge them when they come to certain platforms. Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, whatever you want to put it on. Charge a fee. Just don't go overboard with it. Artemis Fowl is still the worst Disney movie to you. I don't think I've ever heard of that. It was a 2-month exclusivity. Huh. You guess they're counting snacks. Well, see, that's just being cheap. Who says you're necessarily going to get snacks when you go to a movie theater? Sometimes, if you're like me, you sneak in your own. I'm bringing my own Arby's sandwiches. I've actually done that before. I've, like, had a coat and brought in Arby's sandwiches to a movie. I think I did that for Avengers. It was awful, you heard? I have never even heard of Artemis Fowl. Like, all I can picture in my head is a chicken with a crossbar, a chicken with a bow. Some sort of superhero chicken. A la Artemis from Young Justice, or what's his face from the Avengers? Hawkeye. It had, like, no marketing until last minute. Huh. Wait, it's based on a book? Yeah, I have no idea what this movie is. It's terrible whether you read the book or not. See, now I'm curious about this. I feel like that's flown under my radar. Let me Google this real quick. Artemis Fowl. It came out this year. What? Who is this Spy Kids Harry Potter wannabe? Okay. It's Agent Cody Banks with weird-looking glasses. And it is based on a book series of it looks like at least 8 books. Huh. That... I mean, just based on the poster, it looks weird. Again, I can't judge it until I've seen a trailer, but yeah, that's definitely flown under my radar. I was expecting, legitimately, I was expecting a chicken movie, a superhero chicken movie, just so they could play off the pun. And I'm typically, like, up to date when it comes to movie trailers, too. Oh, I hate you, crocodile. I want that skin. Give me your crocodile head. I will replace the cat for the crocodile. How did I miss that? I check the shop constantly. The books are wonderful, but the movie is trash. I mean, based on what y'all are saying, it sounds like it. I'm gonna have to look up the trailer after this. I want to see how bad it is. No, you don't. Oh my god. No! That blasted trainer. I tried to get away, I overcompensated. What? Apparently the trailer wasn't even what was in the movie. That is... Okay, I know the Avengers did that. That's fine. It was a big movie. They don't want to spoil what's actually going to happen. The Last of Us did something... Or Last of Us 2 did something similar. What you see in the trailer is not what's in the game. But for a movie like Artemis Fowl, which apparently got 0 marketing, how are you going to pull a bait and switch there? Half the trailer isn't even in the movie. That's terrible. So even if I do watch the trailer, that's not a good representation of how bad the movie is. And apparently the personality for the characters didn't match. Huh. Yeah, I gotta look this up afterwards. You think they rewrote the script last minute? Possible. Who's the director? Like, has he done stuff like this in the past? Like, this isn't a Justice League type thing where they had to switch directors last minute, is it? Like, I can see stuff getting, like, completely confusing and scrapped and changed last minute because they had to change directors, but if it was one guy throughout the entire procedure of the filming, there's no excuse for that. You can tell there's a lot of ADR. Oh no. Oh no. Like, how badly do their mouth flaps not match what they're saying? Like, are the audio cues that out where it sounds like they're using different microphones too? Oh, bad ADR is the worst. No. I mean, you can... I kind of want to excuse it because of COVID, and I'm sure that a lot of the scenes they couldn't refilm properly because of what was going on, but you gotta do better with ADR. When stuff like this happens, that is incredibly important. If you have to redub lines, you hire someone who's good at that stuff, who's good at like matching audio cues, who's good at matching voice lines and background noise and everything else. It sounds like a production disaster, exactly. He directed the first Thor. That's not even the bad Thor. Dark World was the bad Thor. I want to know what happened. Like, I want to see like a behind-the-scenes type thing where what went wrong with Artemis Fowl. Because if y'all are saying the books are good, and the movie's a complete... I mean, it happens. Sometimes a movie adaptation's not nearly as good as the book, but it sounds like it's just a complete mess. But no, you hire better people for ADR. That is so important. Man, there's gotta be a story behind this. So now I'm definitely I'm gonna spend probably the rest of the night after I'm done streaming looking this stuff up. I'm surprised I didn't catch any of this. Huh. Come on, go for the golden... No, don't find me on the golden ring. Thank you. There we go. Agreed. It's the only MCU movie you didn't care for. There is one other... Excuse me. That I didn't care for. I'm trying to remember what it was, but there were two Marvel movies that I wasn't a fan of. Oh, Age of Ultron. Did not care for Age of Ultron. I feel like that one was forced. Like, you had this entire plot point that was looming behind the entire movie franchise with Thanos. And then here comes Ultron, it's like, yeah, we know how this is gonna end. We're very aware of Thanos looming in the background. Ultron doesn't mean much, he's not a threat. Oh, they even changed the character's race and another's gender. Huh. I mean, if they could... I feel like if they had a better actor for a certain role, that'd be fine, but it sounds like they also changed personalities as well, so... You can't even use that as an excuse. Like, okay, we found Mary Jane Watson. But we don't want her to be this white red-headed person because we found someone who plays her so much better and captures the character perfectly. But then you find out that, no, the character portraying Mary Jane Watson has nothing to do with the character. She doesn't play her at all similarly. So yeah, if they're making that many changes, it just sounds like a terrible show all around. Yeah, I think the only thing they introduced in Age of Ultron was the whole, not go to sleep, the whole, oh, what was it, Good Night? Where she tries to calm him down? That's about the only thing they did in that movie that had any reverence, or reference to future movies. Or that ever got reference from future movies. What was that quote? It's like, the moon is coming down, or the moon is showing up, or... It was something to do with going to sleep, I know that much. The sun is setting, maybe? The sun is going down, big guy, that's it. That makes more sense. I think that sounds about right. Like, they reference that in the future movies. But that's about the only thing that came out of Age of Ultron. I mean... There was also, what's his face? Blanking on his name. Vision. There was also Vision. Yeah. Which, speaking of, has there been any information and Hulkbuster? Okay, so they did make a few things from that movie, but for the most part, it didn't seem as important to the whole overarching plot. But speaking of Vision, have they mentioned anything about Wanda and Vision when they did that whole Disney announcement thing? Because I know that's supposed to be some new Disney thing coming to Disney Plus. There's WandaVision, I think her and, what's his face? Oh, I can't, again, I'm terrible with names tonight. Benedict Cumberbatch, whatever his character is. Doctor Strange. It comes out soon, you think. I'm curious, I want to watch that. Because I'm a huge fan of Benadryl Crackerjack. Wasn't a fan of the last season of Sherlock, but he's a good actor. Next month or so. Nice. Definitely need to watch that. Oh god, we're all even. How did this happen? No. Go. 4 boxes. No, no, no. Snowman bad. We need boxes. Boxes good. Boxes propel. Turn around. No. You're avoiding the boxes. Why would you do such a thing, Duck? Red is going to win. Red is going to beat us if we do not hurry and get to a box. I will push it over there alone if I have to. There we go. Propulsion! Portal physics at work. January 15th. Definitely watching that. Always like to see more Battlefield Counter-Strike. Great actor. Oh, there's actually a movie coming out soon with him in it that he has a weird accent in. I think he's supposed to play like a Southern American. Not Southern American, an American from the South. A Southern guy with a deep, thick redneck accent. It's so strange coming out of his face. I think it's like a prison movie. Again, don't know the name of it. But I saw a trailer for it recently. No, it's not prison, it's military. Actually, no, it's both. It's Guantanamo Bay. Which looks interesting, but I don't know if I can get past that weird accent of his. Alright, look out for who's going to be a grabber. Because I feel like we'll probably do fine here if not for graboids. Yes, I am from, well, technically born in Kentucky, so I do have some Kentucky Southern roots. And I have been raised here in Charlotte, North Carolina for the past 20 plus years, so I have a bit of an accent that I have thankfully managed to avoid developing. I can't imagine actually having that thick of an accent. I would not be the YouTuber I am today if I was always talking like this. I feel that would be a quick way to disenfranchise and... No! Oh, that wide gap. If it wasn't for that wide gap, I would have had that. But no, I feel like I would scare a lot of viewers off if I had a thick accent like that. That's the second time tonight I have died because of a huge gap. It ties into Doctor Strange 2, the multiverse story. Well, yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I was trying to avoid spoilers, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of announcements coming out for that new Spider-Man movie. There's definitely some interesting characters being cast. My big hope is that Ryan Reynolds gets cast for a very specific reason. If he makes it into that movie, even if for a very small cameo, I will be happy. Because seeing those two together, that is straight out of the comics. Can you imagine Ryan Reynolds and Tom Holland, like, bouncing off each other? Hell, they don't even need him in costume. Just have him there as Ryan Reynolds. It worked in the new Pokemon movie. Let Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds. I feel like there's so much potential with that new Spider-Man movie. I mean, there's also a few other announcements I'm waiting for. Like who they are going to cast for a very specific character. I don't even know who they could choose. Like, it feels odd. I'm just going to say it, so minor spoiler alert if you don't want to hear about a certain character in Spider-Man universe. Cover your ears for the next 15 seconds. I'm very curious as to who they're going to cast as Miles Morales. Because it feels like it's obvious they're going to do it. They have to. They have to cast him. Oh, you grew up in North Carolina? Wait, hold on. Let me try and read that one again. And that North Carolina Southern accent will get you for sure, yeah. I had a bit of an accent when I was younger, also a bit of a lisp. I had very hard trouble with the pronunciation of So words like word, girl, world, etc. would completely screw me up. I would have a stutter. It was, I think, in 5th grade that I actually had some speech therapy to try and get that out of me. Which was the weirdest thing, because it was like blowing into a whistle. Like, how on earth is blowing into a whistle going to help me pronounce girl correctly? You had to take speech classes too! Okay, so I'm not alone there. It was the weirdest thing. I mean, it worked. Somehow it worked. Blowing into a whistle cured me of girl, world. I can't remember the other words, but anything with an I'll still slip up to this day occasionally. I have to be very careful when I say those words, otherwise the W's will go in. The world, though. What in the world? Yeah. You couldn't say bird, dark, or three. It's strange what words will affect you. But for me, it was always that one specific sound. I don't recall ever having problems with any others, but yeah. Those wascally wabbits. Oh. We talked about Elmer Fudd earlier today, too, like how in the new Looney Tunes, how do you give Elmer Fudd, a hunter, a scythe? You want to reboot Looney Tunes? Go for it. I'm all for it. I still need to see more of the Animaniacs. I've only seen the first episode. But you want to reboot Looney Tunes? Don't take away Elmer Fudd's shotgun. And definitely don't give him Death's Scythe. Yes. Elmer Fudd is chasing around Bugs Bunny with a giant, comedically sized scythe. It's like, no, no, no. You see, guns are too dangerous. We can't be depicting guns that put charcoal over your face when you misfire. Instead, we're gonna give this hunter a giant, sharp, Grim Reaper scythe. No sense at all. At least Animaniacs. When Animaniacs got rebooted, it's very true to its original cartoon. Sadly, as certain characters aren't there anymore, they did announce that they would bring some back in future seasons, but man, I want to see Scrappy Squirrel. I want to see Minerva Mink. I want to see the Goodfeathers. I want to see Hello Nurse. But yeah, Animaniacs is very true to its original roots. Once I find time, I'll definitely be watching more of that, but yeah, so far only seen the first episode and it's on point. And then I think they're also bringing back Mickey Mouse too, like classic hand-drawn Mickey Mouse. Yeah, exactly. The whole point was he was a hunter. That's why he would have a gun. And then there would be comedic, like, misfires. It would blow up in Elmer Fudd's face. Or it would get bent into a pretzel. It wasn't supposed to be a realistic gun. It was essentially made out of rubber. Or there was, not the rednecks. There were the, who was it? There was one cartoon in Bugs Bunny where he was up against these hillbilly types. And I love that. Oh, I need to watch that cartoon. I'm having flashbacks. I loved it. There was one cartoon in Bugs Bunny where anytime that Paul says 3, we shoot. And Bugs Bunny would constantly try and convince the Paul hillbilly to say the word 3. I didn't say 3. Boom. Stop shooting me when I say 3. Boom. 1, 2, there. Boom. I said there, not 3. Boom. I love that episode. It's just classic comedy. Oh, I'm gonna look that up tonight. I need to rewatch that episode. I'm having nostalgia right now. Yeah, oh really, Yosemite... Well, I mean, it makes sense. If they're getting rid of Elmer Fudd's shotgun, of course they get rid of Yosemite Sam's guns. That is a great episode. I love it. I want to rewatch that tonight. I'm doing that. But Paul... And then I think he got pipes or whatnot, and he extended the range of the shotgun to point back at him. Oh, it's such a good cartoon. That's the stuff I miss, and apparently that's the stuff that's too violent for kids nowadays because you can't have guns. Instead, we give Elmer Fudd a scythe. What? Okay, hold on. They brought back Darkwing Duck in the DuckTales reboot. I need to watch that. From what I've heard, the DuckTales reboot's not bad. I'm not sure how I feel about the animation style. It kind of puts me off. I kind of miss the classic style. But if the comedy's there, I might rewatch that. Or I might watch that for the first time. Because I think that Sam Riegel directs it. And I trust Sam Riegel. He may not be president of D&D Beyond, but I trust in Sam Riegel. Oh, so many good cartoons back in the day. Oh no! That just reminded me of bad cartoons being rebooted, like Tom and Jerry in live action. That does not look good. I saw the trailer for the new Tom and Jerry movie. Oh my god. What have they done? Like, it looks legitimately terrible. Oh no, he's gonna cut me off. Just run it. Run it. No, I shouldn't have double jumped. Oh, I probably could have won that. I think I could have won that. From what you've seen, it's pretty good. I might have to give that DuckTales a chance. I've been hesitant because of the animation style. I don't like how it looks. But again, if it's good, and it's got Sam Riegel in it, I might have to. Really? Apparently in the remaster of the Spyro trilogy, the Norks have lost their gun. What is happening? Kids can tell the difference between a real gun and a cartoon gun. You're underestimating a child's intelligence by doing this. Oh no, please don't say they're gonna get rid of Marvin the Martian's ray gun. Oh, I hope they don't. I mean, you want to say guns are violent, that thing just disintegrates. It's not realistic. No guns in existence can do that. A gun that you fire does not turn someone into a, 2-inch wide candle wick. Yeah, if they're gonna give him a scythe, just go all the way with the Grim Reaper. Hell, give him the voice actor from Billy and Mandy, whose name I can't remember, but give him that voice actor. One reboot that you do like is She-Ra. I never saw the original. Darkwing Duck shows up in Season 2. Interesting. I might have to give it a chance. I'll have to put it on my watch list. Because I liked Darkwing Duck back in the day. I liked all those Disney cartoons. Darkwing Duck. Oh. I'm trying to remember the one, the bear who's a pilot from Jungle Book. What was his name? Why cannot... I am terrible today. Not Mowgli. Mowgli was the tiger. Tailspin, there you go, thank you. I love Tailspin. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. There were so many good cartoons on Disney back in the day. Baloo, that's right. Oh! Goof Troop. Classic. Loved... I think Goof Troop might have been one of my favorites on Disney. Yeah, you love Tailspin too, and Goof Troop, yeah. So many good cartoons back then. I felt like there was definitely more too. There was an entire Saturday morning block filled with all these cartoons. Nowadays, do they even have Saturday morning cartoons anymore? I feel like most of the cartoons are just spread throughout the week. There's no longer a dedicated Saturday morning to them. Even when in my teens, I was watching, there was Saturday morning Yu-Gi-Oh! And then they'd have repeats at 6 a.m. in the morning before I got to school, but... yeah, it was Saturday morning Yu-Gi-Oh! The whole WB block. They had that, Digimon, and a few other things. That was a big introduction. Well, no, I was introduced to anime back in the late 90s with Sailor Moon, but for a different generation, it was a big introduction to anime. Back when they got rid of Toonami, that's all they had was Saturday morning. Boomerang! Oh, Boomerang! I forgot about that. Gargoyles! That was the other Disney classic. One of the best Disney cartoons ever made. Hands down. Well, I can't speak to the later seasons, I wasn't a fan of the time travel stuff, but early Gargoyles, my god. I mean, it invented a bunch of tropes, like the Xanatos Gambit. Something so convoluted that you're plotting things 50 moves ahead of time. Great show. It had a bunch of Star Trek actors in it, too. Keith David, though. Still to this day, Keith David is one of my top voice actors. Anytime he does anything in any game, I just call it out. Keith David. Mass Effect, Saints Row. Actually, in Saints Row, Keith David played Keith David. Yeah, Toonami had a reference. I think there was a demo disc. There was an option you could choose. There was a Toonami reference in one of the Sly Cooper games. Yeah, Teen Titans Go. I'm not going to touch on that one. I don't know how big of a fan base it has, but apparently it's big enough where they can air it 24/7, 7 days a week. But no. I mean, Teen Titans Go also managed to get the original voice actors. They got Kari Payton. He's busy doing Walking Dead, and they still managed to get Kari Payton for Teen Titans Go. I mean, hell, every time I win in this game, you hear me going, Booyah. That is a direct reference to Kari Payton's Booyah as Cyborg. That is where that comes from. Another one of my favorite voice actors, Kari Payton. When he showed up on Walking Dead, I got extremely excited. Forget the Tiger King in Missouri or wherever he's at now. I think he's in jail. Forget that Tiger King. No, Kari Payton. He's the Tiger King. So Teen Titans Go has some funny moments. Sure. They made a movie out of it. There was a crossover with the original Teen Titans. They air it 24/7 on Cartoon Network these days. I don't see the appeal, but to each their own is what I'll leave it at. I haven't seen it enough outside of random clips to make a proper judgment on it. I like how we've been streaming for 11 hours now, and still, only once have I seen Peg win. One time, and that one time was right after we mentioned Zeke, who I had as a Penguin in Ni no Kuni. So next time we get to about the semifinals, we need to start bringing up Zeke. Maybe we can channel the gods of Mediatonic to get them to give us Penguin again. It was a cheat code in Sly 2 for Toonami, right? Didn't Ratchet & Clank also have something similar? Like, I don't think it was a Toonami thing, but they had a cheat code where you could see all the different commercials for the original Ratchet & Clank game. Which was amazing for its time. Commercial where they showcased all the different weapons that they were trying on each other, Jackass style. Like home videos of people saying, oh, here's the Sheepinator, and they blow each other up. Or the Rhino. And watching those clips on TV, you had no idea what the game was. It just looked like some home movies or Jackass. It was classic. But I'll tell you one thing, they better not take the guns from Ratchet & Clank. It builds itself on the crazy guns. But really, Spyro removed the guns from the Norks? That makes no sense. You've seen one or two episodes that's made you chuckle? Alright. Like I said, I've kind of avoided Teen Titans Go, so I can't properly judge it. All I know is, not a fan of the clips I've seen, and I've looked at a schedule before, and I've seen it airing on Toonami, or not Toonami, on Cartoon Network for like 5-6 hours in a row some days. I don't even know how. At least back in the 90s when you had June Bugs, you had plenty of episodes to air back to back. Or, oh, what was it? This was back in 2000... Oh, I don't know. It was Independence Day, I believe it was, where they did a thing with Iron Giant. They aired Iron Giant back to back 24 for an entire day, 24 hours. Okay, they changed them to paint guns. Okay, at least they didn't completely remove them. I can kind of accept that. It's a nice middle ground. Oh, the clip you saw was where they were self-aware and watched themselves. I think I've seen that, or at least I've seen it talked about. How it's very meta humor. Alright, so now we've learned there are two things to watch out for on this map. One, for those large gaps of just empty space, where if you're down low enough, it can completely screw you. And watch out for grabbers, of course. So the large gap seems to be right after the 3 bars, the 3 little bouncy donuts. The 3 little dog toys. Chewy dog toys. Well, those 3 chewy dog toys are everywhere, so it's hard to judge where the big gap's gonna be. Right there, it's on the purple side. So on the purple side, watch out for the big gap. Oh god. Dog toy almost put me in the slime. No, bad dog toy. Okay, I think the dog toy actually eliminated one of the snowmen. I'm getting too close to those things. Okay, down to the final 2, me and Snowman. We got this. Come on. Oh my god, I was doing that blind! Crap, I should not have jumped. I knew it as soon as I jumped, it was going to take time to recover. Ratchet 2 also had clips from Ratchet 1, Sly 2. Yeah, it was like a miniature TV that you could watch, and it would occasionally show clips from the other games. That's what I love about the Sony franchise, or the first-party titles from Sony. They love to do their crossovers. Sadly enough, that one, what was it? There was a PlayStation Move game that had Sly, Ratchet, and Jak and Daxter that sold incredibly poorly. And it was a PlayStation Move exclusive, and it got terrible reviews. It had so much potential. Heroes on the Move, that's right. Yeah, that one... I watched clips of it. I was excited, I wanted to play it, but after I saw clips of it, I was like, I don't think this is gonna work well for my channel. And it was not worth the investment of buying a PlayStation Move just for that one game. Because the PlayStation... the system, it didn't have very many games for it. There was, like, 2. There was the Magic Book, and there was Heroes on the Move, and that was it. Now, from what I've read, from what I read on the Teen Titans movie, apparently there's some references where if something did well enough, they would bring back the original Titans. It's been a couple years now. I think the Teen Titans Go movie didn't do well enough. That or they've been secretly holding out, and there will be a reboot, or at least a continuation, somewhere down the line. Which I would love to see. Though that said, the DC animated universe, the movies they've been doing have been choice. They did a rendition of what's her name? I can't. Oh my god, what is the girl with the rock powers name? Terra? I think it's Terra. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's Terra. But they did a rendition of the Judas Contract in the DC animated universe, which was very good. They actually explored some certain things from the comic books that they completely left out of the Teen Titans the Teen Titans cartoon, which makes sense because there's definitely some aspects of that were not appropriate for the target audience. Yeah, like, what other games were there for the move? I feel like it was only a handful, and none of them were any good. There was an archery game, I know that was supposed to really showcase what it was capable of, but the only two games that really made attention were Heroes on the Move and the Magic Book. I watched that, the Turtles versus Batman movie, although, as someone who grew up on Turtles, big fan of Turtles, I'm not keen on how they portrayed them. Like, the Turtles were pretty much the butt of all the jokes. You would think that there would be some back and forth, you know, Batman wins one, the Turtles win one. Nah, that stuff was entirely one-sided. Oh, was there a move game for Ape Escape? Wasn't aware of that. No. Yeah, I think I might have heard that. A sports game for PS Move. Was that the archery one, or was there a completely different one? Because the one I'm thinking of has the box art of a woman doing archery. But apparently it was pretty good. Surprising. Like, anytime I've heard anything about the PlayStation Move it was terrible. That it was nowhere near as responsive as even the Wii. Wasn't until the Wii Plus that the Wii actually became responsive. Uh-oh. It feels like we got some lag coming back. I mean, we've managed, what, 6 hours without needing to switch servers? No, last time it lagged really badly. We just quit the game and restarted it and it was fine. We haven't rebooted the servers for like 9 hours. How am I still going 11 hours later? It was an well, yeah, that was too close. Most move games had to be on rails. Might have been Time Splitters. Sports Champions, I think it was. It was a sports collection. Yeah, probably a Wii Sports clone. Yeah. But yeah, most of the move-type games had to be on rails. Same with the Kinect. You couldn't really... Unlike VR today, which still has some issues with trying to do feedback on people moving around a room, back then for the Move and the Kinect, you had to be on rails. It's only now that they're doing first. I think, what is it? Battlefield, who now has a first-person shooter in VR, and I have no idea how that's going to work without people getting motion sickness. I think Half-Life Alyx did something with VR where you could teleport around as a way to counter the motion sickness. But a full first-person shooter, that's going to be interesting. But you do have to hand it to them that even if the Move and the Kinect and those other games weren't successful, they did kind of pave the way for VR. If it wasn't for them experimenting and finding out what's wrong and what works, it'd probably be many more years till we saw VR. I mean, you think back to the PlayStation 1, I think it was, before even the Wii. Before the Wii had motion, there was the iToy. And that was kind of a motion-based thing. Although I think for the iToy, the only thing they had for that was something where you interact with a weird little animal creature and then a ball-related game that you just hit back and forth. Right, Heavy Rain had PS Move controls too, which I heard were very finicky. I feel like that comment is very vague. Plakius says, Ubisoft is making an Assassin's Creed game apparently. When are they not? But no, I know you're referencing a VR game, so that's interesting to see Assassin's Creed in VR. Is that too violent? I mean, if it's... I don't know, that seems... Pegwin! It's Pegwin! Pegwin Watch 2020 is over! It's the second time we've seen him tonight, and all it took was 11 hours. So that means that Pegwins show up at about every 5.5 hours. Got it. My god. Catch those Pegwins! Hug them, squeeze them, call them George. Gimme. He is my George. He is my Pegwin, and I will call him Squishy. Give me my Squishy, please. Ha! No! Pegwin doesn't like it when you jump. Gimme. When you jump, he comes out of your grasp. Okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna be the bodyguard for this cat. It worked last time. I will be your bodyguard. I will grab anyone that comes and tries to grab your... Oh god. Your Pegwin. Backtrack over here, come on. I am your bodyguard. I will protect this Pegwin with my life. Pegwin is life. No. Okay, for some reason he's able to jump down and not get Pegwin out of his hands. Then how come Pegwin wanted to leave my grasp? Does Pegwin not love me? No. I will protect Pegwin. 69 points, nice. Let's see if we can win with 69. No, I've broken it, we're at 70. I need a bodyguard, please, someone protect me. No. Bort. Protect Bort. Or is that Bart? I mean, we're in second place. As long as Yellow doesn't get a Bort, we should be fine. They have a Bort. Bart. Bert. Just protect them. It's fine if Yellow has one. It's good. I'm not worried. Booyah! Alright, the chat. Sorry, I got obsessed with Pegwin there. Players have to utilize the Move controller to navigate through crowded streets of Hong Kong on a sliding office chair. I remember that game. Weren't you also like... It was almost like a skateboarding game because you were going downhill on a busy street. Yeah. I remember that. And then, yeah, Medal of Honor's coming back in VR, which I'm very curious as to how that's going to work, because I just foresee people getting motion sick. That was such a weird-looking game. And I almost feel like there was like additional characters you could unlock in Kung Fu Rider where you would be like a giant panda bear in an office chair. And I might be thinking of a different game, but even like a sumo wrestler, and there were certain points in the game where you had to pose as you were going through walls. And you had to time it perfectly, like matching the shapes of the wall. Again, I could be thinking of an entirely different game. But yeah, like, games like that, the Move, the Connect, they weren't successful, but they did help pave the way for VR. Without them, it probably would be a couple more years before we saw what we see today. And even the early VR games, a lot of those are just tech demos for the most part. Okay, I need to go to the outside. Round the outside, round the outside. Melt it, quick. Do not give them a top platform to work with. That is a tier 2. They should not exist right now. I mean, we're down to half, only 4 left. Now, I'm sure eventually, it's not happening now, but I definitely foresee people grabbing a lot more in this. Just like in Jump Showdown, there's going to be grabbers. Yes, you go over there. Leave me to my platform. Booyah, baby! Win number 257! That is 7 on the season. Doing well. 7 wins tonight in 11 hours. Not my best record, but still decent.